Hey guys, musicninjamat here, and the lighting looks really weird today. It looks very red and brothel-like. Anyway, I just got back from seeing Deadpool 2, so I'm going to do my reaction to it. There will be spoilers straight away, because the first thing I will be covering is the plot. Just a rundown of what actually happens in the film. So we see Wade, and we see that he's now gone international. He's going around just killing crime lords, and it's just a fun little opener. We get to see some cool action. He returns home to Vanessa, and we see they actually want to try and have a kid, which plays into the film theme-wise. She actually ends up getting killed because the house gets swarmed by some of the crime bosses that he wasn't able to kill. And straight away, it was like, wow, they killed her. Like, what a huge way to open the film. We obviously get very Deadpool-ish opening credits, very artistic and funny, really emotional music. But the fact that the credits this time is like a conversation to the audience where they're going, what the fuck? They just killed her? Did that just happen? Which I thought was really good. Wade actually ends up blowing himself up. Like, Wade really gets frustrated that he can't die and be with Vanessa. And as he's blown himself up, he makes rips on Logan. We see a little Logan figure that's been impaled. And he's saying, like, well, you copied me with the R rating, then you decided to die, so do you know what? I'm going to do the exact same. We see scenes of Wade in the afterlife, and he's able to sort of see Vanessa but not fully interact with her. There's a wall there because, of course, he doesn't fully die. He gets brought back each time when he heals. He's taken to the X-Mansion to heal, and he gets made a trainee X-Man. So he goes out with Negasonic Teenage Warhead and Colossus to go and help Russell, who is Fire Fist, who's the main kid of the film. Wade actually finds out that Russell was at this mutant center and that he was being abused, and Wade just loses it, shoots one of the workers there, and he and Russell are arrested. And Colossus is like, do you know what, I'm done with you, Wade, I've given you so many chances. The mutant prison that they're put into, they get collars that stop their powers working, and it's interesting because obviously this brings back Wade's cancer, and the whole time he's in the prison he's like, I'm no use here. I can't defend you, kid, I can't defend myself, I'm too ill to do so. Cable turns up and he breaks in because he wants to go after Russell. And during the fight that kicks off, the prison's getting destroyed. Wade is able to stop Cable because his collar actually breaks off. When Wade stops Cable, he gets out of the prison and he recuperates and makes a plan that he's going to save Russell because Russell was left in the prison, but now it's destroyed. They need to transfer all the prisoners out so they can do the classic intercept and save him while he's being moved. This is where the X-Force team comes in because Wade puts together this team, which I'll talk about a little later. And we see Russell has made a friend in prison because Wade said, pick the biggest guy and don't try and fight him, make friends with him. And he sort of remains a mystery, but he's being moved as well. And it was one of these really big shocking moments in the film, because as the team is dropping in, they're dropping in from a plane, and they're like, yeah, but Wade, there's really high winds, shouldn't we be concerned? He's like, no, no. All the team dies. The entire team, apart from Deadpool and Domino, because of her luck powers, and obviously Wade can just bloomin' heal. But we had some really great actors in there, and it was like, this team that I thought was going to be the crux of the film have all just died straight away. They failed to save Russell because Cable turns up as well, because he threatens to torture Weasel, and Weasel's like, I'll tell you their plan, because I really am not good with pain. There ends up obviously being another big battle, and Russell ends up escaping with the help of Juggernaut. And Juggernaut was one of the big moments I was like, holy shit, in this film, because he's a hulking great big guy, CGI'd, looks great, he has the proper helmet, he looks like Juggernaut, acts like Juggernaut, and he even makes reference to Charles Xavier, because he's saying, you know, the reason I wear this helmet is it stops my brother reading my mind. And Russell basically wants to kill the headmaster at this mutant center for all the bad things that he did to Russell. And Cable says, the reason I'm going after the kid is because of the fact that killing that headmaster, he'll get a taste for it. And he will just not stop. And he actually murdered my family. Like, he goes on a huge killing spree. And the agreement Deadpool makes with him is, right, give me a chance to save him, give me a chance to stop him being on that path. Because I knew kind of going into this film, Wade and Cable would team up. Cable wouldn't be the villain, it would be a misunderstanding, and then they team up in the end. We have the big final battle, and Colossus turns back up because Wade was like pleading for his help, and there's a really good fight between Colossus and Juggernaut, and Colossus is a lot more ruthless, and he starts swearing, and it's great. Russell gets more and more out of control, and Wade tries talking him down, and he says, "I can't trust you," and blasts him away. Cable tries to shoot Russell, and Wade actually gets in the way of the bullet, and he's put back on his power inhibitor collar just to show Russell, like, he is willing to sacrifice himself to save this kid, and instantly Russell's mind is changed. You can see he calms down, and Cable was carrying, like, a teddy bear that was burned and covered in blood from his family, and it actually changes to a regular colour to show, like, they've changed the timeline. And we get this really emotional moment, because one thing I will say about this film, it's not overly funny. There are some really funny bits, but it's more the fact that it's a very sad film at points, and this moment was amazing where Wade is dead, he has died, and he actually steps through the barrier that was there in the afterlife, and he's healed, he's back to being normal Wade, and he's reunited with Vanessa, and he's like, "I did it, we're together, the kid is safe," and she says, "No, because they still need you, it's not time yet." And we see Cable, who obviously can jump through time. He had one jump left, and he was going to use it to go back to his family. Instead, he goes back to just when the big battle's starting, and he slips into Wade's pocket this little skee ball token. The skee ball token was Wade's anniversary gift to Vanessa because it's from their first date, and Cable actually takes it off of Wade during one of their fights. So he slips it back into Wade's pocket, so it all plays out again, but when he shoots Wade this time, the bullet is stopped by the skee ball token. It's all sort of rounded out, and then the headmaster is shouting at them about being mutants, and he gets ran over by Dopinder, the taxi driver, because his arc in this is, I don't want to be a taxi driver anymore, I want to be a hired killer, just like Deadpool, and then he kind of gets his chance to do that. We get two post-credit scenes, one of Teenage Warhead fixing the time jumper and giving it to Wade, and she's like, "This is a terrible idea, and Cable's gonna kill you," and he's like, no, it's fine, and Wade actually goes back in time, and he saves Vanessa, he saves Peter, who's the guy on the X-Force team that has no powers, because he's the only person in X-Force he was really able to save properly. He also shoots Ryan Reynolds in the head, and we see Ryan Reynolds reading the Green Lantern script, and we get the scene from X-Men Origins Wolverine, of Wolverine being like, "Wade, is that you?" when he turns up as Deadpool. And Deadpool just shoots X-Men Origins Wolverine Deadpool in the head, and it's like, I'm fixing the timeline. And I was reading as well just now about some other scenes they wanted to include, such as they wanted Chris Evans as Human Torch from Fantastic Four to actually apply for X-Force, which I thought was funny. So with the team, it's like I said, you had Bedlam, who was played by Terry Crews. We had Shatterstar, who said he was from Mojo World, and I was like, oh, Mojo got a reference, that's cool. Bill Skarsgård was Zeitgeist, so, you know, you've got some big name actors in here. We had, obviously, Peter was on the team, and we had Vanisher, and Vanisher, the joke was he was invisible the whole time, and when we actually see Vanisher as he's dying, it's Brad Pitt who plays him. So we had this team that was really cool, and they just killed them all off. I really liked Domino, and I liked Cable. Domino was just a fun, happy character. Her luck powers were awesome to see. It's like when Harry Potter takes the liquid luck potion, and Cable was just straight up powerful. His weapons were great, and his character was great, as you saw him lighten up a little bit more throughout the film. Russell as well, he was a weird character because he had points of being quite unlikable, and he's got this really awkward humour to him, like a kid would be, where he just wants to be a badass. And then obviously we do have the returning cast from the first film, and someone that really stood out for me was Blind Al, because she gives a really quite emotional speech to Wade about how sometimes you have to die a little before you can start properly living. We also got a bunch of references. Of course, you're going to have a bunch of references in a film like this. We had some nice callbacks to the first film, so stuff like the superhero landing, maximum effort, all this kind of stuff comes back, which was nice. Because it wasn't, we're treading the same jokes again, it was just a nice little nod. Some of the references and just fun little jokes. So Wade goes, you would have thought the studio would throw us a bone, wouldn't you? And let us have more X-Men. And you see Beast and Cyclops and all the X-Men stood in an office and they look at each other and Beast just shuts the doors. That was really funny. He makes a lot of funny jokes about the X-Men, about how he's like, why is it X-Men? That's really sexist. And he's like, we're the X-Men. We were actually a metaphor in the 60s about racism. And everyone's just like, what? I'm so confused. We get loads of Avengers references. Wade says, oh, I've got no powers. Give me a bow and an arrow. I'm pretty much Hawkeye. They reference the Hulk lullaby when he's fighting Juggernaut and he's like, oh, sun's getting real low, and tries to calm him down that way. He refers to Cable's arm as being a Winter Soldier arm, so there's all these Avengers references in there. There's the DC references as well. Deadpool actually says, I'm Batman when fighting Cable. He's references by saying, oh, sorry I'm late, I was fighting some badass in a cape and it turns out his mum's name is Martha too. And they have a really weird interaction where Cable's like, I'm from the future, and Wade goes, is dubstep still a thing? And Cable's like, dubstep's for pussies. Stabs Wade, and that's when Wade does the, God, you're so dark, you must be from the DC universe. Another interesting little thing was that Cable actually says that his daughter's name is Hope, and I'm like, Hope Summers, I know you. But it was packed full of nice little gags. There was a lot going on in the film. It was interesting because on one hand it feels very samey. On the other hand, it's completely unique in some ways, that it is a more emotional film. It's just a fun film, and you can go and enjoy it and just go, yeah, I had a good time watching that. This film did feel a lot more Hollywood, I guess you could say. Like, you could tell the budget was bigger with the way the CGI looked and the battle scenes and everything else. It was much more amplified. Anyway, guys, that's literally all I can really say about Deadpool 2. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, as it really helps the channel out. If you go down below, you'll find the social media links. Don't forget to check out the playlists and explore the channel more. And I will see all of you in the next one.